no, thank you. And I wanted to start with, I didn't prepare, but then I started thinking about what we're gonna chat about, and I wanted to thank you for always inviting me on your newest, wildest contents or like things that you're doing, because I
No.
find that they facilitate some parts of me which I never really articulate, but somehow you always make me articulate some stuff which I should, or even that we don't
Mm,
speak that
love
frequently.
you.
So we kind of very in sync, and it's always super helpful for me to talk to you about weird stuff that we're gonna talk about now, like random things. So I'm
Hell
super
yeah.
happy and yeah, looking
Oh, that's so
forward.
nice. Me too, me too. No,
Yeah.
seriously, like yeah. You get it. I think you just get some of the stuff that I can't put into words but need help putting into words.
Yes.
Like we
I'm
can
not. I don't
follow
want
each
to
other's
go.
parallel shit.
Mhm. I think we're
Yeah.
synced, right? Even if
Yeah.
we don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
good.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Which is right along my PhD, but I'm not gonna go there because today is a
Oh,
different thing.
we can touch on it if you want.
Yeah, no, I research network intelligence and especially human network intelligence, so like computer mediated hive mind in a way. And
Yeah.
uh and there's algorithms that swarm algorithms like which kind of work like that on a computer level, but we haven't really figured out better than a rave or better than a blockchain DAO, how to stay synced as humans and how
Yeah.
to co-create or how to are we a kind of like a very baby, hive mindy thing or not,
Mm-mm.
so
And
I'm kind of
maybe
researching this.
even did we lose our sense of hive mind and are we returning to something?
Yeah,
Because we
are we
never know.
returning? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. Go, go, go.
No, sorry.
No, it's like maybe there's just stuff we don't know about the past. Like we assume we're like progressing and so evolved, but it's like there's probably some ancient stuff in there where people just know. Like,
Oh, 110%. Yeah. And
yeah,
this notion of progress of, the technocratic, modernist and postmodernist progress of humanity, like so-called civilization. And, we
yeah,
call civilized
yeah,
countries and civilized societies versus like ancient, very barbarians. I think that those
yeah,
barbarians, like our ancestors were like super pointed on stuff. Like, how did they build the pyramids
absolutely.
otherwise? Like,
Yeah,
or etc.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really keen on finding the human parts of, like the current,
Mm,
how can we regain that or how can we get forward or get back? Time doesn't matter in this sense, like we may be going back or maybe going forward in
yeah.
terms that I think that there's a shared sense of understanding that or shared understanding that there's ways to do this better, coordination or being in sync with other people, and I think that our tools can help. Digital tools can help, but also digital
Mm,
tools are kind of lay so many traps, around privacy, around who is using who in the end in most cases,
yeah.
so it's a very interesting question, like how the tooling in your and I really want to, okay, let's try to do something. Let's not say online and offline is the same thing. So let's just
Mm.
go, genderless or like spaceless, like tooling,
Quantum,
like just,
not
yeah,
binary.
yeah, and there's no, yeah, there are non-binary spaces, yeah, exactly. So I don't think there's online and offline anymore. I think there's a hybrid thing that we inhabit because we're connected so much to the internet, and then
Yes.
we inherently use so many connected like tools that we don't even not really conscious about. There are people who are more conscious about it. They
Mm.
sometimes call it super paranoid these days, oh, the government is spying on you. Like, dude, it's spying on everyone all the time. So it's not like
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
special, it's spying on me. Like we're
It's
collectively being
we
manipulated.
perceive each other. That in itself, like being perceived,
Yeah.
is and it's something that I do. Like you know how you have you seen Middle Eastern cultures? We have the evil eye.
Yeah, of
This
course. I
yeah
have one here
yeah you
somewhere.
do. The whole concept is about
Yeah.
being perceived, and the Romans had something else as well. But like over time, people
Hmm.
have this thing like being perceived is so powerful. Like a human perceiving one another, and now we've put that into data form, and now we have that
Hmm.
living on servers and
Somewhere.
everything and the cloud. Like these are bits of perception, and like it lives over time. Like your grandkids are going to be able to see now, some things that you did. Like
Yeah.
eh,
Hmm.
yeah, it's so insane. Like it's not just a government, it's just like it just being perceived by each other, and then who knows
Yeah.
what can
But
that turn into.
that's the better part of it, like I think. surveillance is different than perception a little bit. Like I think
Yeah.
that there's the whole motivation behind, seeing or not noticing or observing something is you observe me now with the purpose of, good or like connecting and perceiving of human to human, but there's machines that don't want to perceive us like humans. They want to perceive us as data files, and they make us
Yeah.
data points. So
Yeah.
uh
Mm.
yeah.
Do you want to show
Mm.
us like do you want to show us me what physically you want to do? Are you doing anything with your hands or are we seeing
Oh
your
yeah,
beautiful
you're gonna
face?
love it. All right.
I'm also
Yes. No, you're gonna see so much action today. I didn't prepare, but I just figured, like,
oh yeah.
when you send me the brief like an hour ago, like, maybe 2 hours, sorry, I don't know, like not so long ago,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like super busy, so like, oh my God, the hassle, like, what my hands. But then I kind of realized that there's something that I'm doing since almost 4 years, almost every day. Like these days, a lot. So there, I have the stuff ready here to practice it or to show
Oh
it.
my
And
God.
before I tell what it is or get into the things, I just kind of I think that it's really important to really stay as human as possible
Mm,
to get wherever we wanna get collectively,
yeah.
and to be just very real with stuff, like you know this because we talk a lot about this, that
Mm,
the not it's perception, but perception only matters if I don't deceive you, right? Like
mm,
if I deceive you, then you misperceive me, and then the whole non-existent things start to happen.
yeah.
So basically, what I brought today, or maybe one last thing, I think I made a mental note
Mm,
to mention that all these tools and all the things that you create wherever in the non-binary spaces, you kind of it takes a lot of time, yeah.
yeah.
Like, how long have you been creating content, writing stuff? Like, you're an amazing writer, but you're an amazing writer because you have a talent and you've been writing since ages now,
Mm,
right? Like it takes a
it
lot
feeds my
of
soul.
discipline and
Yeah.
huh.
It feeds my soul, but also
Right.
yeah, also no one I do it even though I get upset that no one really it doesn't really pick up any kind of traction. But then like
Yeah,
when the
but it's
people
still
I care
amazing.
about see it and they're like, cool, like they get it, it's like, oh, I feel seen. Like, oh good, this is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a little garden that you tend
uh,
to.
But I think you mentioned that it feeds your soul is
Mm,
the most important.
yeah.
There's an
Yeah.
inherent intuition, a gut feeling that you know that it's good for you, that you do something.
Yeah.
And this is also where I want to start uh, the whole story today, or my story, or
Oh
what
yeah.
tools I use. Is that I was a city dweller, notorious traveler, digital nomad, spending my days on laptop, freelancing, working with
Yeah.
organizations, digital or physical, but like very computer focused person. And then
Whilst being a
I
nomad.
started. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
That's
then,
cool.
like, roughly around the pandemic, I had enough of paying rent and paying Airbnbs to people because it's just insane.
Mm,
So I figured I moved down to this place where I live now, which is an old house built by my great grandfather from clay.
mm,
And it sounded like a cool idea to renovate the clay house. Like,
mm.
wow,
Romantic.
like well, so it is a cool idea. It's been going on since 4 years, and it's a lot of manual, actual physical labor involved in renovating a clay house because you live together with the materials.
Mm.
On the upside, the material is coming from the garden, right? So these clay bricks that this house was built with are from this very garden with
Oh,
some added straws, added sand. So
that's really cool.
there's no plastic here. There's no modern materials in any sense, just the old ones. But it takes, even though it's like actual playing with Play-Doh clay, like every kid does this when you grow up, you play with the
Yeah,
flour
yeah.
clay, maybe you learn this, but still to practice these tools and master art, or like a craft, like building a clay house, it took me at least, I think, yeah, the best 5 years now to
Holy
be so
shit.
confident that I can do what I'm gonna do now on this call.
Holy shit.
So I'm gonna show some, huh?
Wait, okay, no, I'm
We're
so
gonna do some
curious.
we're gonna do some clay work together on the window there.
Yay.
And I want to show, yeah, and I want to show some tools. Like, I had this hammer. It's an important hammer because
Yeah,
it's not any, you can buy any hammer, but this is a carpenter hammer with two different stone heads, so different density and different robustness stones here.
yeah.
This is gonna be. This took me, years to find that this even exists. This thing, like, I'm just
Oh
so
my
happy that I
God.
know this because this is the right tool to dance, to make it, to hit on the clay there. I'm gonna,
Wait, is
like,
one side
basically,
more dense than the other? One is like
yeah,
harder?
Yeah, this is
What the
yeah,
hell?
this
I've
is
never
like
seen
limestone, I
anything.
think, or something. And this is maybe this is rubber actually. I don't know,
That's
not
so
sure.
cool.
Like it's something different. Yeah. I think it's like hard rubber, and this is limestone. Yeah. And so tools are super important,
Yeah.
any tools. And then the way you learn what tool is good for you or right for the job that you're looking for with the right values, you need to keep using new tools and go back to old tools and
Hell yeah.
together we just had an experience. Huh?
No, that's so true. That
Go.
that that, that resonates. You got to play around with your tools
Uh,
and test different things.
yeah. So I'm gonna try to move the bit better visible what I'm gonna be doing. Maybe
You're
you see
you're
still the
also okay with your
inclination
face
there.
being shown?
Huh?
Are you okay with your face being
Yeah.
shown? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool.
I mean, cool, man. No worries.
Okay.
I mean, I'm kind of on the internet anyways with this nickname and my face, so it's
Okay.
okay. So,
Just check.
uh, yeah,
Because I
cool.
can
Well,
also
thank you.
start it later. We
Yeah,
can edit this wherever.
yeah, it's fine. You don't need to cut it even. I'm happy with non-cut things.
Okay.
So yeah, so like you're gonna see like 5 years of experience with just a very simple task of how do you clay a clay wall. Like it sounds
Cool.
like yeah, I could just. I mean, everybody can do it, but it takes an awful lot of time to figure out how you work with the material. It's with your hands. Like my biggest problem nowadays that my fingerprints are non-existent due to clay work. So
Oh,
my
whoa.
phone is like my transaction apps are like kind of like I have to wait, dry my hand, use some like
Oh,
hand cream. Yeah,
apparently, if
but
you do dishwashing a lot, it takes away your fingerprints.
yeah,
Yeah.
same,
Holy shit.
same, and
Well, at least you're not trackable, I guess. Like that's fine.
yeah, yeah, I mean, no one wants to track me anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah. So for me, it was super important that I do something physical with the digital stuff. It kind of healed me. It kind of gave me new balance in life,
Mm,
and then it's really really. I recommend this to everyone, like to get out of the consume capitalism post-colonialist machine and just start being more self-sovereign, not just financially and work-wise and location-wise, but also learn to build your own house,
yeah.
learn to make your own food.
Mm,
It's tremendously empowering,
yeah.
right? Like I can just do this on my own, like not really, but quote unquote, depending on the task. So today we're gonna use a spray can of water,
Mm.
which is also can be seen on the golf festivals when hippies spray each other
Yes,
on the
this
heat,
this is familiar.
like that.
This is a
Yeah,
festival,
and
like yeah.
yeah, it's actually a stone masonry thing. And what we're
I
gonna
didn't
use
know
is
this.
we're gonna basically make sure that the clay. I'm just setting we make sure that the clay is what we wanna work with is backing up because it works like plaster. So you see what I'm doing?
So you're wetting the original clay
Yeah, I'm at and clay work
and
is
you've
like
patched it.
making
What
a
is this?
super layered cake. Should I come closer somehow with the machine?
Yeah, let's see. And so this
Yeah,
crisscross is
okay.
like making it ready for the next to stick to the next thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
And the thing is that
Oh yeah, this is so much better. Yeah.
yeah, every layer, and that's why the Windows has plastic cover. Here should be some plastic cover too, but I'm not making so much of a mess now, so I'm just gonna wipe it later on the
Yeah.
wooden board. It's not good that I wet it now, but it's still okay for this, cheeky demonstration.
Yeah.
So it's gonna wet the clay where I'm gonna be working. Like maybe let's do this little section here with the next layer. And every layer needs different composition of clay. So what you see up here, the current layer here, is I also brought some samples with me here, so I can show on the
Oh, I
camera.
love that.
That's why like this is the original clay bricks put in water with
Yeah.
some extra straws, with some extra hay, and that's kind of what you can see over there is like really fluffy because of the little hay, like it's like a rice bean
Yeah.
kind of style. Like let me one. It's
And this
yeah,
thing about it
it's like
taking you 5 years, like that's dedication to learn how to do this over 5 years. Is there anything that like about this that translates to your like determination or like really believing in something over time
oh
in
man,
the
long-term
online
dopamine
world,
is
like because there's something about this that it's just like little by little each day, little by little,
exactly. I mean,
and
that's
having
called
faith.
long-term dopamine, I think.
Yeah, which is so rare because it's like we want this short
It is rare.
term. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but that's the real deal. I think we're overdosed with short-term dopamine by digital stuff, by, constant self-gratification, by drinking a beer, by watching a movie,
Yeah.
etc. So there's so many ways
Things
to
are so
just
instant and
feed your,
fast.
yeah. But this is very timely, very time consuming, sorry, and very slow. Like, so it's,
And I think
but I know that I've been, yeah, sorry.
no. Like even with AI, I get my own sense of I'm putting more pressure on myself to do little projects because I'm like, well, you could do it really fast, but everything takes so long because I keep making mistakes and like I have to keep checking myself, being like, dude, you're in reality. Like reality is slow and
Yeah.
accumulates over time. And like, yeah, like back in the day, people just did one job, one thing, and they master it over a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is why I got originally drawn to Bitcoin because of the slow time concept.
Mm.
You're never early or late, you're always in the slow time, so it doesn't matter when you,
Can you can you
get your Bitcoin or
can you explain that a little bit more, like what it
yeah.
is? Yeah.
I think one of the fundamental concepts of Bitcoin is this time chain aspect. Like if you accept, like understand study Bitcoin enough, you get that block time is, block by block, the clock ticks forward and
Mm.
never goes back. So basically the whole and it's slow. And people think that Bitcoin price fluctuation is a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
But actually, if you understand the fundamentals of how it works, then it's basically the fluctuation is the actual slow time mechanism because it lets people opt in on Bitcoin earlier than later,
Mm-mm.
because now maybe it's 82K today. For sure, probably it's gonna correct, to 75 again. So
Yeah.
maybe it's never gonna go under 70K ever, but it's for sure gonna go back, like a good 10%,
Yeah.
I think, in the next month. So I'm not, if I haven't, I wanted to get some Bitcoin now, but I couldn't, then it still gives me time to get it later. That's why most OG Bitcoiners say that I'm gonna be keeping acquiring Bitcoin whenever it's 250K even, it
Mm.
doesn't matter. It's one Bitcoin is always one Bitcoin.
Mm.
That gives a different fast time is fueled by inflation and and loans and how the bank system works, right?
Mm.
So the reason you spend all your money when you get the paycheck is because your money is gonna worth less
Yeah.
tomorrow. If you acquire even just a little Bitcoin, it's gonna worth more tomorrow. So actually incentivize not to spend it, to actually incentivize to slow down in a way too, right?
Yeah.
Because
And I guess
the less I spend, huh?
yeah, I'm thinking like because I
Go-
want to compare it to traditional finance. But with traditional finance, depending on where you are in the world and what is happening to you, like your political situation or the economic um climate of whatever your country and city is, like your sense of time even within that country is going to be different. And I think the
Mm.
what within the digital finance, like I guess I even want to explore now, like you said Bitcoin, but like are there other, like I'm sure every ecosystem now has like a completely different sense of time. Even we're talking about like even nim has like epochs and like little pulses, like everyone has a different sense of like um I guess to put this infrastructure up and to get it running, you kind of like
I
it
mean,
needs to run
yeah,
in a certain way. Yeah. I just lost
yeah,
my trail of thought.
time was made up by Einstein and Poincaré in 19 something. We didn't have these watches telling us it's how many of clock at your place and my
Mm.
place. We didn't have time zones before that. There was no, it's a very
It was seasonal. It was,
artificial way of, hmm?
well, I guess like
Sorry?
traditionally, it's probably just like you based it on your environment, like
Yeah,
seasonal
and the bells,
light.
church bells, muezzins, same thing. Like they told you what time the sun, it went up or down, the moon phases.
Yeah.
So it was a lot less abstract and a lot more actual, concrete, physical.
Yeah.
Like, so now, as you see, do you see the screen still?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is
I think I managed to
so you make it
like
mushy. You're basically like making this like glue.
I'm just watering up the existing clay and I'm just compressing it together with the other layers. So like now I
Oh,
actually want to achieve like really here is like super good. It's not really moving. Like
oh, okay. So this is just
uh,
making the layer
a little
harder.
a little guy, little
Oh,
seed coming out from there.
cool.
I'm gonna get rid of that. So I'm just basically making it really stick before I put the next layer on here.
Yeah.
I want to make sure it's as dense as it's potentially can, because if it comes off together, right? It's a layer
Yeah.
cake. So every night when it's wet, I'm just hitting it like every 2-3 hours. I have to hit the wall with the same hammer to like make it, make the edges come closer, like to
So
densify
if
it,
you're
right?
ever talking to Hux and he needs to go offline, you know what he's doing.
So, and what
This
we're
is
gonna
what you're
do
doing.
now? Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm doing this like almost nonstop.
That's amazing.
So we're gonna use a different mixture. It's this. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's not that chunky.
Hmm.
It's a lot smoother. It's basically it's from a local mine, local clay mine. Like this. It comes in a big bag.
Hmm.
This big bag has a very like single origin clay in a way. So it's with lots of kaolin. So it's the powder. I just want to show because it's super important. I think, or like the powder itself or the clay itself is very. I'm not
Oh,
gonna move it
cool.
over my laptop. It's like a sand. It's like a
Blow it into the screen.
like brown sand. Huh?
Blow it into the screen.
I mean, all for the show, but maybe not. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this guy.
And this is what locally, like local clay?
Sorry, 1 sec. And just added some more to the same thing, the same material, so I don't mind. Just a lot more dry now.
Hmm.
We're gonna add some water. It's
Mm.
behind the camera now.
Like you're cooking.
It's very important not to add too much water because then we have to add a lot more clay if we want to make it consistent density. And now you start stonemasonry, a shower, a little hand thing, and I start making it like a cake, like a cake dough.
Mm.
It is like this.
Mm.
Just have to like as if you add water to flour, it's the same thing happening here. Basically, the more you add, the more liquid it becomes,
Mm.
or milk to the and the depends on what kind of density you want to achieve or what kind of
What
heaviness to the yeah.
like I'm sure this would have taken a while to like perfect and like you've had probably like mistakes and stuff you've had to go through.
Oh,
What does it represent to you now? Like how do you feel now when you do this? Is this just like you do it, you don't even think, or do you feel something each time you do it?
I I am doing always. I'm just trying my best to make the quickest and best decision. Like now to put on this guy, I kind of know because I've done it on 2 other windows.
Uh,
So now I know this is the correct material to use. It sticks nicely. I've been
and no one taught
doing
you.
this. Huh?
Did anyone help or you learned it on your own?
Oh yeah. I'm I'm
Self-taught.
a I have a very good friend who's a clay grandmaster.
Oh, cool.
We have a foundation together where we support our generation's countryside movement from the cities, like move away from the cities, be self-sovereign. We
Ah,
have it's called, there's no racism in it, but it's called a Clay Gypsy University, like because we kind of call ourselves Clay Gypsies, or we identify as people who could move anywhere and just build their own houses,
yeah,
right?
like natural
So
earth housing.
yeah,
I follow a Facebook page for
yeah,
natural earth housing. It's my dream to like,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Yes,
cool.
we do make herbal stuff, teas, like we teach what plants grow in the hills, what makes you feel better, etc. So now, look, I think that this kind of looks good for me, maybe a bit more water,
Mm,
but not significantly more.
tasty.
It's like Nutella now. It's like a
Oh
Nutella
yeah.
or like creamy, really heavy.
It's nice
And
sound like a slushy, like
yeah, it's like a slushy. We wet the surface of the holder.
what's this called?
We apply the huh?
What is this called? The holder?
I mean, I only know
Nice.
the local words for it. So this is
Okay,
like
yeah. So,
this is the stuff that you use to hold it in one hand, clay other,
yeah.
and then from here, you basically, if you've done a good job, I should do it from the bottom, not from here. But since the bottom is really close to the wood, I'm just doing the
Oh, that looks so cool.
demonstration here. So what we want to do is you want to put an even layer, and it's gonna be clay everywhere. That's the good thing. Like you can this is already on the wood. You can even if you try to do it in a way that and basically what you want to achieve is you want to make like I'm making a straight surface here,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I should I'm putting more to the places where there's bigger, like still there's like negatives, and it's not enough. And then we just apply this, and this is basically what needs to be done.
Cool.
Or
Have you ever like hidden anything in one of the layers?
huh?
Have you ever like
Uh,
putting in like a little secret something? I don't know, like a special tile or like,
what do you want to hide?
huh?
No, not yet.
Uh,
Good idea. Oops.
it's so cool. Is there anything from this that you feel like is translated into like your digital habits?
Oh yeah, like too
Like as
much.
a metaphor, or
I
even
know that.
really like as something like how you,
I just know that things take a lot of time, a lot of practice,
yeah,
and even when I making a specification for a tool, or designing a user flow or whatever, I know that we can try to make it right with the knowledge we have, but most likely we're gonna have to change stuff, once we launch. So it's like it's really teaching you like iterative planning and
yeah.
sprint thinking too, because oh my god, it's really slippery. So oops, because it's just simply the same thing basically. You have an idea what you want a simple surface and like a very smooth and solid surface. And you see, here it's getting there
Iteration.
already. Like it's a lot more similar kind of movements, but it's really nice to do it. It's like it's so smooth, like right?
It's like a on
Not
a, I'm
bad.
thinking like a designing a cake.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
like a
cool.
designer cake. And then you have to work on the edges. There's a different technique of how you build the edges. So this is
Must be
what I wanted to show
it
essentially.
must be so
Yeah.
nice like in between because you do like I'm impressed at how much you're quite a high functioning you do like a lot of you're involved in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So is it just kind of like because you're online quite a bit, no? Like is it like a
Yeah.
relief kind of thing to be like have your own physical getaway of just like okay, now I'm going to focus on this thing. Like I know what it is. I know what to expect. I can just automatically do it.
Well, a little bit, yes, but also this is usually I'm not doing every 15-minute break I have
Oh
to relax to
yeah.
something, like, stay out of my head and drink a coffee. And this actually it's more like I figure out, like, for example, let's say I'm just gonna do this window now with this. It's gonna take me like 1.5 hours approximately, so that kind of like an effort if I do it this evening or tomorrow, like
Yeah.
how I feel. And all right. Whew, I got a bit sweaty. I know.
I know.
And even my laptop screen got the clay.
But do you do this in
So
winter as well? Like all throughout?
yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, outside we wait for more sunny days. Outside is almost ready now, so there's no need to work out more. So like little bit only, and now that's how you phase even the work. So you know that it's gonna be winter. You have to do the inside first. Then you have to do the. It's really hot here because I'm drying the clay in the meantime,
Yeah.
right? So like I'm yeah. Let me just take this off.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
That's so cool. It's such a big part of you that like it's so interesting to see.
So this is how our tool, you said this is how tools made us. Like you
Yeah.
choose the tools for what you want to do, and if you choose surveillance tools for digital applications, you're gonna be part of the surveillance machine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you asked me something else, if I have rituals. And I think we found this together, maybe, no? Or it wasn't with you?
No, I don't remember. Oh, that looks sick. Wait, I
Mm.
just want to see how much time we have. We have like 5 minutes for 8. Okay,
Yeah.
we can call again.
Last thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to go to the to another thing.
Okay.
But so just another example of like tools and practices, I found this guy, like this is a
Yay.
any hard surface, any hard surface cleaning, or it actually fills the pores like of wood, of ceramics, of everything.
Yeah.
And this is like
Odie's
you need to
oil.
apply it only once. It's like so good, it's beautiful the wood that it produces, so you can put it on everything. And
Mm,
if I'm gonna put it here, just like it's like putting honey on a surface to make it less porous.
mm.
It's amazing. But the time it took me to find this little bottle, which actually is good for my purposes, the way I want to work, this one layer, maybe,
Yeah.
a lot to work
One
it
good
in. This
solution.
is also like it was 5 years to find any good hard top oil, and then now this guy can just go on basically everything to impregnate it also a little bit.
But
You
so it
don't need to use too
protects
much.
natural thing. You can put this on
Yeah.
wood.
And now it's on wood, on hardwood,
Can you put it on
on
clay?
ceramics. Yeah, I mean on clay, I haven't tried it, but it says it's on the package. I can put it on clay, so probably it's possible. It's
Right.
not sure where or how. Not yet. Maybe this week I'm gonna figure it out how to put it on clay.
Yeah.
So, but rituals are super important, and this is also a part of maybe an altar for someone. It just here it actually protects my little tinctures on the shelf.
Mm.
So like behind me, there's like it's like a more protective thing,
Mm.
and
I love that.
yeah, it's also rituals are also similar to the wall and to the even digital product development. Like you plan, you execute repeatedly, you fine tune, you iterate,
Mm.
you find what works best for you in the morning to achieve something, to create opportunities. It's the same thing. You just have to have the idea, like the whole, that
Yeah.
it's and accept that it's gonna take a ton of time and repeatedly try to make it work. And I guarantee that in some time
Yeah.
you gotta make it work. It depends on the how big the task is, how good you are in certain skills, but and how good tools you find.
Mm.
And once these are there, I think it's just a joy to do
Then
things,
you weave
So
your life with these tools and these things that you learn.
Mhm.
Do you like
Yeah,
you're good with rituals and you do some
yeah,
fun things I notice in like our meetings as well. What does it mean to you like when you do a ritual online
yeah, yeah.
either for yourself or with other people like what is it what makes you want to do something and like how have you become so good at like you do this like I think you improvise things so nicely but
Yeah.
it's like that
I mean,
little
that's 20
magic
years.
you know
Yeah, I mean, I've been practicing facilitation since 15 years, so that's
yeah
actually super strong experience. It looks so effortless and like I'm improvising, but I've just done so many hosted so many online events, so many offline events, so different events
Hmm.
that I just have this vast amount of knowledge, library of knowledge, of like experiences,
Yeah
and I can just kind of quickly throw together a menu for even if I don't prepare, I kind of have this, already set in my head. Same thing with mastering all crafts. It's just a really lot. There's some people who are better, some people who, not as extrovert, maybe not as, I don't know, outspoken
yeah you include
to
you
to to
include the quiet
facilitator,
people
but
yeah
yeah, I mean,
in
oh,
a
yeah,
smooth
yeah,
way
yeah,
not
oh yeah.
like
I mean, it's all about paying attention to people in the end, right?
yeah
Like, not sure if you can see it, but here it's like super shiny and brown. Here's like
mm,
very, it just makes the colors also look nicer. Like this is already
mm,
looking very nicer than, for example, here. So this is what it does. It deepens the colors and protects the layers.
mm.
Yeah.
And that's grounding having something
Mm.
that's like a natural like bone is very
Yeah.
special yeah
Yeah.
special material
Yeah. I mean, it was an animal at one point.
mm,
Crazy, right?
yeah
So, it might be
actually
still alive.
one last thing because I,
Yeah.
I like when I think of you yeah you said animal and then I thought of the fox that you are like this is what Hux is to me like the first moment I met you was like bing like you were in a shared group or something or you posted something and it was the
Yeah.
little wolf and like I think I was a raccoon and that for a long time was such a like do you feel like you embody these characters online and is there something special about like the fox for you
Of course, that's why the part reason. Oh, it's like writing a book about a main hero, right?
yeah
It's
yeah
like all these personas are like of course, part me and very much relying on how I am in real life, but I'm still I'm a very different, not very different, but I'm the same person as the online persona. It's just I'm shining different things, or I'm acting differently based on my online personas. Yeah, settings. So like my online persona is a lot more cheeky and a lot more outspoken these days than
mm,
my actual.
they're real
I'm not that sure. Like I'm in real life, I don't really. try not to worry too much about what other people do. In the online world, I have to kind of be more uh, driving, or I feel like my persona is a bit more, not opinion leader, but like kind of like more this,
Mm,
let me tell you how to do it. Like kind of more this
like
in
assured.
my normal life. Yeah, I'm a lot less. I think, yeah. So it's a good question, and I'm kind of thinking now too about my
Yeah.
answer. But
Well,
yeah, something like this. So there's different qualities that you highlight differently, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna publish something soon about this, but like our identities online, almost like
Mm,
this like mirror reflection thing. Like there's something about it where you get to project like something you maybe that you aren't in your physical life, or maybe there's something about you that you want to like expand and explore. And then like
yeah.
that in turn, like whatever you explore in that online world also then affects again your identity in the real world, because you are this other thing in the digital world. And whatever responds to it, like you get, special kinds of like things happening, and you're in different groups and Twitter things, blah blah blah, and like that then feeds your physical self, and like it's like a back and forth thing.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's like we are really this
I'm
new kind of existing thing already, like it's really cool.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think I totally agree with you, and I think that there's like a widespread acceptance that we are multiple identities. I'm not saying we're all schizophrenic. I'm saying
Mm,
that we have different identities at different social or settings, or online spaces, offline spaces, or hybrid spaces, with the family, with friends, with your
exactly.
company,
More traveling,
and
more work.
although,
Like we have more layers
but
to our
all
life.
those are. Hmm?
We have more layers to
Oh
our
yeah.
life because we're just doing more things than our previous generations.
Yeah. Yeah. So the problem, if I start this, it doesn't look still good enough, so I'm just gonna. This has to
Yay.
be finished. Hey,
We're almost
uh,
finished. Is there anything else? Like,
ugh.
what was my list? There was one question that what's an unexpected belief you hold about technology that might surprise others? Maybe you have a lot. I don't
Depends what you call unexpected, but mm,
like a belief that,
yeah, I read too many sci-fis, still reading too many sci-fis. I'm very like I think I'm very far ahead usually in my meanderings of what technology can do, and not tomorrow. I'm like, I don't know, 110 years, 100 years, and mm, inherently I believe more of all these future imaginary scenarios of like AI, AGI taking over, or human intelligence, like all these things. Like I'm a big Rockwell Basilisk theory fan. I'm a huge accelerationist. Also, like I think it's good that we go quicker with the technology because we're gonna get somewhere we wanna get. So I do think that I'm super. Yeah, I'm full on accelerationist in terms of technological development, which is
mm.
really contradictory to
Well,
my
because
playhouse work here.
yeah, and
So
well, I guess because also you do play a role of making it accessible to people and connecting it to
yeah,
people, and that's the bit that's the bit that where it's that gap of like people understanding and culture to the actual technology that's causing a lot of the stress and paranoia and whatever suspicion
yeah,
between people who don't know what's happening. And
yeah.
when you are in that space of connecting, I think it's really like you're doing a really important part of that.
We, yeah, we're gonna lose the meeting in less than a minute.